Dear students, welcome all of you to my class. Today we will continue with the chapter 6 Political Parties. And our first topic is how many parties should we have? In a democracy, any group of citizens is free to form a political party. As our country is democratic, there are more than 750 parties in our country registered by Election Commission. Among them, only a handful of parties are effectively in the race to win the election and form the government. Any democratic setup must allow at least two parties to compete in elections and provide a fair chance for the competing parties to come to power. But the country like China has one party system where only one party is allowed to control and run the government. But this is not good option for democracy. But in some other countries, power usually changes between two main parties. The main parties have a serious chance to winning majority of seats to form government. The United States of America and the United Kingdom are example of two-party system. But in India, we have a multi-party system. Here the government is formed by various parties coming together in a coalition. When several parties in a multi-party system join hands for the purpose of contesting election and winning power, it is called alliance or front. So, there are three different party system. First one party system, second one two party system, and third one multi-party system. Then which party system is better? Party system is not something any country can choose. It involves over a long time, depending on the nature of society, its social and regional division, its history of politics, and its system of election. This cannot be changed very quickly. Each country develops a party system that is conditioned by its special circumstances. No system is ideal for all countries and all situations. Therefore, a party system has to be chosen as per own needs and circumstances. Now we are going to discuss national political parties. India is a democratic country following a federal system. Federal system indicates that India is a group of states which has its own government and also has a central government. Therefore, in India, there are two kinds of political parties. एक है national parties and another one state parties. The activities of a state party is confined internal to state. I am going to repeat. The activities of a state party is confined internal to the state. While some large parties have their units in different states called as national party. Our next topic is activities of Election Commission. So Election Commission register a party whether it is state party or national party. तो Election Commission कोई भी पार्टी को टैग करता है कि ये state party होगा या national party होगा. The Election Commission assign a unique symbol for each party. The Election Commission treats all parties equally, but it can offer some special facilities to large and established parties. That is, to recognize parties. Criteria for a party to become a recognized party. If a party succeeds in obtaining at least 6% of the total votes in assembly election and wins at least 2 seats is recognized as a state party. I am going to repeat. If a party succeeds in obtaining at least 6% of the total votes in assembly election and wins at least 2 seats is recognized as a state party. तो क्वेश्चन होगा और कौन सा पार्टी को फिर हम लोग बोलेंगे नेशनल पार्टी. If a party succeeds in obtaining at least 6% of the total votes in Lok Sabha elections or assembly elections of 4 states and win at least 4 seats in Lok Sabha is recognized as a national party. I am going to repeat again. If a party succeeds in obtaining at least 6% of the total votes in Lok Sabha elections or assembly elections of 4 states and wins at least 4 seats in Lok Sabha is recognized as a national party. As per these criteria, there were 6 national parties in 2006, and these are Indian National Congress, Bharatiya Janata Party, Bahujan Samaj Party, Communist Party of India, Marxist, Communist Party of India, Nationalist Congress Party. Dear students, these are some ideology and information about national parties. So go through it, memorize it and learn it fully. State party. If a party succeeds in obtaining at least 6% of total votes in assembly election means Vidhan Sabha and wins at least 2 seats, then the party is recognized by Election Commission as a state party. These are also called regional parties and acts usually internal to a state. Example, Biju Janata Dal, Sikkim Democratic Front, Mizo National Front. There are certain state parties that have national level political organization such as Samajwadi Party, Samata Party, Rashtriya Janata Dal. Some importance of state parties are like diversity in parliament. From last 3 decades, large number of parties emerged and existing parties become stronger. So this system or with this situation currently lead to more diversity in parliament. Because of this, any national party could not be able to get majority on its own. So this situation give rise to alliance, and we know what is the meaning of alliance, that is forming a group of parties in a way to win the election and form government. Opportunity to be a part of national alliance. Since 1996, nearly half of the state parties got an opportunity to be a part of national alliance. And the next positive side is strengthening of federalism and democracy. These are some database about regional parties in India according to 2007. Let's move to the next topic, and that is challenges to political parties. Now we know that political parties are necessary for the democracy, but people often blame political parties for wrong working of democracy. Parties often face dissatisfaction from the people whenever it fails in performing their functions. Parties' failure is often related to 4 major challenges. The first drawback is lack of internal democracy within parties. Generally, the administrative and decision-making power lies in the hands of top leaders of the party. There is no organized, unique election process inside the party to choose the designated recipient. Sometimes it leads to the misuse of power by top leaders in the name of the party. This leads to the lack of internal democracy within parties. Next point is dynastic succession. There is less possibility for an ordinary member to rise to the party's top. There is no organized specific process to choose the designatory of the parties. Mostly the family members of top leaders are given priorities. This is unfair to the other members of the party. Money and muscle power. Third challenge is the growing role of money and muscle power. Especially during the times of elections, parties are focused on winning election. They use short tricks to win elections. Party assign party tickets to criminals, musclemen, and rich business people who have more significant influence over society and can easily win elections. The increasing participation of such people in election is a growing terror over democracy. And the last point is unable to offer meaningful choice to voters. In our country, India, it seems that the political parties cannot provide meaningful and valuable policies and programs before elections to the general public. They offer almost similar programs or policies with a little bit different in the implementation process. There is a lack of opinions available in front of public while choosing their leaders during elections. Our last topic for today's session is how can parties be reformed? In a democracy, final decision is made by political leaders who represent their political parties. People can replace them only using elections with another set of political leaders. Recent efforts to reform political parties and its leader. Amendment of Indian Constitution prevents MLAs and MPs from changing parties to become ministers and for cash rewards. Some other suggestion to reform political parties. As per Supreme Court of India ruling, it's mandatory for contesting candidates to file an affidavit giving details of property and the criminal cases pending against them. As per Election Commission's instruction, political parties must hold organized national elections and file their income tax return. There should be democracy inside the political parties. Laws should be framed to regulate the internal functioning of the political parties legally. Open elections to higher posts in political parties. 1/3 ticket should be mandatorily assigned to women along with a quota for women in a decision-making body. Fair use of government aids and grants in the election expense in cash, paper, petrol, vehicles, telephone. There are also two other ways to reform such political parties, like people can put pressure on political parties by way of filing petitions, publicity and agitation, by the use of media with extensive public participation. So my dear children, that's the end for today's session. We will meet in our next class with new topics. Till then, bye. Take a very good care of yourself and happy learning.